Joining us now, Status founder and lead author Oliver Darcy. He broke the news on Trump's call to the Wall Street Journal. New York Times national reporter and MSNBC contributor Jeremy Peters, and New York Times Washington correspondent covering the Justice Department, Glenn Thrush, because there's news there as well. All right, Oliver, I do want to begin with you. I want to begin with the reporting that you broke that Donald Trump made calls to the Wall Street Journal to try to get this reporting squashed.
Yeah, I mean, it runs contrary to everything the MAGA movement really wanted from Donald Trump. They wanted him to declassify all the Epstein stuff, release it all. In fact, behind the scenes, Donald Trump was working to kill this Wall Street Journal Epstein story. So I was told that prior to the Journal running their story, they reached out for comment to the White House. Donald Trump was infuriated. He called up Emma Tucker, who's the editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal, and basically berated her and voiced his opposition to the story. Donald Trump, of course, later confirmed that he called Emma Tucker and said that this letter was fake. And he additionally added that he called Rupert Murdoch, who owns the Wall Street Journal, and made his objection known. So he was really, really trying to spike the story.
How seriously do you take the threat to sue? On the one hand, he has sued, and he's pressured major media organizations to capitulate, to send him millions and millions of dollars. On the other hand, this is Rupert Murdoch.
And I have a hard time thinking that Rupert Murdoch is going to settle in the same way that ABC did, that CBS did. He doesn't have a pending transaction before the federal government, and it just seems like he has actually, weirdly, held the line better than a lot of these legacy news organizations that you would assume would.
Why has he been able to do that? And also, why does he want to? You have him as the head of Fox News, and Fox News is, you know, sycophantically pro-Trump in almost every respect. The New York Post gets that way most of the time as well. Why is the Wall Street Journal different?
I get the sense he thinks he's lost control of Fox News, and he just lets it do its thing and make money for him. But the Journal and the New York Post, to some extent, that usually tends to reflect his viewpoints more. And you see that in the editorial page. They have been hammering Donald Trump. And so I just have a hard time thinking he's going to bow down before Donald Trump. This man has a lot of power. He's used to wielding it. It just doesn't seem like it's likely. But I also have a hard time thinking Donald Trump's going to bow down to Rupert Murdoch. These are two men with big egos, and I can see him suing. He does think he's won a few of these lawsuits, and so I don't know is the short answer on whether he will actually follow suit.
We'll see with that. Okay, so he says in his denial that he doesn't draw pictures. He's never drawn a picture of a woman in his life. But there are pictures that he's drawn that he's put up for auction. We can put them up on the screen. They are images of New York City skyline, a couple of them. There's one of the Brooklyn Bridge. He also talks about, in one of his books, here's one of them, about doing these doodles and then giving them to auction for charity. So he does draw pictures, Jeremy. That part of the denial doesn't hold up.
Right. Well, he also has a history of denying reality and facts that are evident, right? I mean, after the Access Hollywood tape came out for years, I believe he actually still is doing this, denied it. He said, that's not my voice. Well, we know that it is. And so I don't think that this is any marked departure from how Trump has operated when it comes to these embarrassing scandals. He's just going to tell you that up is down and the sky is not blue.
Can I just say, just off topic here, those doodles are actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
I don't know what I pictured when I read the Journal story, just saying that he drew the outline of a naked woman.
You weren't picturing the Brooklyn Bridge?
But yes, they're not bad, right? He has a little bit of skill there. So I think he should, if they're indeed his, I
wonder if he'll continue to deny it if people say that these aren't bad doodles on his part. The Epstein stuff is so sticky, and Donald Trump can't seem to avoid it. I mean, it's the one scandal, I think, that has not been so easily brushed off by Donald Trump. Why is that?
And you're exactly right about that. And for once, I actually agree with a lot of the commentary around this. Every time Trump steps in it, every time there is a little rumbling of discontent in the MAGA base, people say, oh, my God, is this it? Or is the base finally going to revolt? And they never do. This is different because it is sustained and it's coming from people who ordinarily immediately fall in line. And I think the reason for that is not just because Trump and the media ecosystem that created him and that has sustained him politically is really invested in this story, and the people who are leading these podcasts and newscasts truly believe in it. But it's because the emotions behind the QAnon, Epstein kind of stories really get to the heart of what Trump and his supporters have long said about the government lying to people and taking advantage of them.
The pressure is so intense, Glenn, that Donald Trump, after many days of telling people to not care about the story, claiming that anyone did was a weakling and he didn't want their support, even if they supported him in the past. After many days of this, he has capitulated, at least to an extent, telling his AG to release some of the information. What is that information?
The information that he wants his AG to release, by the way, it's still way up in the air. All that we know is he wants grand jury transcripts from Epstein to be released. That could, number one, that could mean a lot of different things. It could be the Epstein case, federal case in Manhattan, which never came to trial because Epstein hung himself. It could be the Maxwell, the Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
I'm sorry, I can never get that right. That case, which did go to trial, she was convicted. There was grand jury testimony on that. There was also a grand jury, I believe, impaneled in Florida. And I am told from various sources that there might have been little bites at the apple around the country. The Justice Department claims it's going to come out today. We haven't seen hide nor hair of it. We don't know what the extent of it is going to be. And the other issue here is judges do not look very kindly on these requests. The reason why grand jury testimony is kept secret is to protect witnesses, to protect the defendants whose guilt hasn't necessarily been proven, and to ensure that the victims, information about the victims doesn't come out to cause them additional pain and suffering. The rationale for this, I imagine the Justice Department lawyers who are working on this, and I'm told Todd Blanche, who conveniently happens to have also been Trump's criminal defense lawyer, who is now essentially running the day-to-day operations of the Justice Department, is the one who's quarterbacking this effort. They're going to be working on writing this very, very carefully. He's got a lot of public statements out there already on this, essentially saying it was because of the media and public frenzy. I don't know if that reaches the bar. And then there is the main issue with it. This is a fraction of the material in the quote-unquote Epstein files. It just narrowly pertains to those two cases, perhaps, and doesn't include, for instance, the tens of thousands of hours of videotape that are stored, I believe, on hard drives in Winchester, Virginia, at the FBI facility there, and all of the other paper documents. So it may not ever happen. It may not ever happen. It's kind of irrelevant, and to some extent, the larger trove of material that would contain information about Trump is likely elsewhere.
Yeah. So I'm curious about that larger trove. Dan Goldman tweeted this out, or X'd this out. Nice try, Pam Bondi. What about videos, photographs, and other recordings? What about the FBI's 302s, those witness interviews? What about texts and emails? That's where the evidence about Trump and others will be. Grand jury testimony will only relate to Epstein and Maxwell. Not just that, there's also this from Senator Ron Wyden, who is trying to get information from 4 banks who he says waited until Mr. Epstein's arrest on federal charges to flag $1.5 billion in suspicious transactions. He wants those documents made public. And it's that stuff, Jeremy. It's the potential redactions and the grand jury testimony, which you imagine is going to happen because they do want to, I imagine, still protect witnesses alongside these other documents that I wonder if they're going to be able to close the book on this when there is still that outstanding information.
Right. Well, that's the thing about conspiracy theories is you never can close the book on them. So no matter what she releases, and I'm not confident that it will be all that much because we've seen what she did in the opening days of the Trump presidency, and she invited all of these MAGA influencers to the White House and said, I have this gift for you, the Epstein files, and they immediately called her bluff on it and said, this is nonsense. So it's not clear that she has stuff that she can release. I think looking forward, the real question is the political risk to Trump himself. He's always been very good at deflecting blame, and this is so far fallen on Pam Bondi. I mean, Pam Bondi is persona non grata on the MAGA right now. What Trump doesn't perhaps take into account is just how large a segment of the GOP base this is, the believers in conspiracy theories. So back in 2021, Tony Fabrizio, Trump's pollster,
Yeah.
I was interviewing him for my book on the Republican Party and Trump, and he showed me this proposal, or this study that he did of the Republican electorate. And he found that fully 10% of the GOP electorate believes in the central tenets of QAnon. I mean, that's pretty startling, 10%. It's also not an insignificant chunk of his base that he can afford to alienate.
Well, what's interesting is that right now you have some of the lead MAGA influencers, or the Fox News hosts, or some of the lawmakers going after now the Wall Street Journal. It seems almost like they're seeing this as an opportunity to try to push this story away. Oh, now it's just the mainstream media that's gotten a hold of it. And when the mainstream media gets a hold of it and tries to implicate Donald Trump, that's when you know that this is all just one big hoax.
I'm not sure that's going to work long term. I actually think one of the reasons Donald Trump is having difficulty getting rid of this is because the new media ecosystem that he actually helped mature has matured. And so 10 years ago, if there was a scandal, Fox News had a lot more control over the narrative.
They had it locked.
And you've seen them this week. They've been trying to sweep this under the rug for the most part.
Have they even spoken about Epstein in the past few days?
Barely. I mean, they have, but barely. It's definitely not a full-throated coverage of Epstein. And the people keeping this alive are the Candace Owenses of the world, or the Tucker Carlsons of the world, or the Benny Johnsons and Steve Bannons. These people, this media ecosystem, did not have this much power 10 years ago.